Okay, so there are a lot of guitars online that are affordable now. There's so many. We're in the golden age of affordable guitars. So I would honestly say we're just in the age of affordable guitar and the golden era of guitars in general, because if a guitar is affordable, that means it's a guitar that you want to play and that it's worth playing. The price of a guitar doesn't matter at all. Okay, I'll repeat that again. Price of a guitar doesn't matter. If you feel comfortable playing a custom shop $5,000 guitar and you have the means to do it without any discomfort economically, then who cares? And if it makes you want to play it every day, or if you just think it's beautiful art. I mean, you know, people buy art and put it on their walls. Who's to say that a custom shop made, craftsman made Telecaster, you know, that you think is worth like $700-800 isn't worth $4,000 because it's relic or whatever. So it really doesn't matter the price, meaning it also doesn't matter how inexpensive the guitar is, cheap, affordable, whatever you want to call it, because the most important thing about a guitar is that you just want to play it. If it's something that you feel comfortable playing all the time and it feels comfortable in your hands, then you'll keep playing it. And so that's the only thing that really matters when you're buying a guitar, is if you think you by owning it you'll want to play it a lot, or you have practical uses, maybe run a studio or you're in a band or something and you actually need this guitar for a specific reason. But if you're just buying a guitar as a consumer and a general guitar lover or music lover, then you know, there are three things to me that matter the most, regardless of the price, right? Take the price out of it. Number one is it must look cool to you, right? So if, you know, there was a point in my life where I didn't think Telecasters looked that cool. But then over time, the more I learned about guitars, I thought they looked cool. So if I had gotten a Telecaster early on, and it might have just sat there, I got this Dan Electro because it looked cool to me, you know? And so I felt like when you're early starting out, I think that superficial aspect of guitars is very important. It seems superficial, but it isn't, because the way it looks is connected to how much you'll want to play it. If it looks cool sitting there in the corner on the guitar stand, you'll be like, oh, let me go touch that. I just want to be close to it. I want to touch it. So get something that looks cool to you. Maybe you saw a guitarist that you like in a band you like, or someone you like, and that guitar looks cool to you. So you get that style of guitar, or you heard something about that guitar, or you just go shopping and there's something about the way this particular guitar looks that just like, you got to get it. And so I would say aesthetics of the guitar are super important. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Like, oh, it's about all the features. Yeah, not really. It's about the way it looks, number one. Number two is the playability. Like, okay, if it looks cool, but it doesn't play very well, you're not going to pick the guitar up, okay? So that's the number two thing. Now, if the guitar looks cool and you know enough about guitars that says, okay, it looks cool, it doesn't play amazing now, but I can get it to a place where it plays amazing, then that is important. So when I think about playability, I don't think about the guitar as it is when I buy it. I think about the guitar as it could be once I make the changes to it that I need to, right? If the action is a little high and I need to make the strings closer, you know, lower down and lower the action, those kind of things. If the neck feels right, I'm a big neck person. Like, if you asking me neck or body, which is more important, or do I even really care about the body of the guitar? I only care about the body aesthetically. I only care about how the body looks. I don't necessarily care about the wood or tone woods or something like this, but I do care about the neck because I play that part. I feel that part in my hands. And so that is very important to me. When I talk about the feel of the guitar, can it be adjusted, and does the neck feel nice? If the neck feels nice to play, there's no sharp frets, the frets are polished, or I feel like I can get the frets into a condition where it would be nice, then I'm like, this is 2 out of 3 check box, okay? So number one is, does it look cool to me? You know, number two is, how's the playability? How does it feel? Does the shape of the body, is it too big? Is it the right size? Is it too small? Like all of those, the form factor of the guitar, like the actual shape of the guitar in your body when you hold on to it, does it feel nice? Okay? And if you're a more experienced player and you understand how electric guitars can be adjusted, you can gauge if that feeling that's off on the guitar when you initially touch it can be adjusted to make it nice to you. The good news is, vast majority of guitar, if a guitar is even worth buying, it must be adjustable. It must be able to be set up. If it can't be set up, then it's not worth the guitar. So basically, it's just got to be functional for you. It's got to feel nice. So number one, looks cool. Number two, it feels nice. Number three, the kind of the hardware with it. How are all of the electronics? How does it sound? Does it stay in tune? Are the tuning pegs good? How's the nut? Again, all of those things can be changed. Otherwise, it's not worth buying. If you can't change the nut on the guitar neck, then I would say don't buy the guitar. If you can't change the pickups out, don't buy the guitar. Good news is, most 99.9% of guitars can do that unless there's something damaged about it. So those are really the three things. If it looks cool, it feels nice in your hands, and the electronics do what they're supposed to do. The tuners work, the knobs and tone pots work, the pickups work. Now, you can get better versions of those things in time. If you already like the first two things about the guitar, that it looks good and it feels good, then changing out all the electronics and all of that, you can just do that eventually. So that's why I say we're in an era of just golden era of guitars, because once you get to the point where your tastes develop and you start modding your own guitars, you can get a cheap platform guitar like that has a body, that has something about it that you like, and then you just start adding your things to it. Like if you want locking tuners, if you want strap locks, if you want different pickups, what kind of strings, getting it set up for the type of strings you want. So those things end up being important, because I tend to have a limit on how much I'll spend on a guitar. I feel like between $800 to $900 on a guitar is what I'm willing to spend on a single instrument, just because of my philosophy that you can make almost any instrument, you can make cheap instruments play well. And for example, I did a review on this instrument, this SX Furion. Very inexpensive guitar. I got into these type of guitars not knowing how I would feel about inexpensive guitars. I started playing on Gibson, which I didn't really love, honestly. I had a Les Paul, I didn't love that at one point. Then I went to a Sheraton 2, which I did actually very much like. And I put Gibson 57s in it, and it sounded great. But then after a while, it just, it was big to me. It was heavy. I don't know what happened over time. So I looked into getting the SX here, just to be like, what, let's get it. It's cheap. I'm very confident about, like, if you don't like a guitar, you either return it or you play for a while and then you just sell it to someone else and get, even if you get half the price, it's almost like you rented the instrument. It's not a big deal to me. I usually get pretty much what I paid for it. So I was like, figured let's give it a try. So I bought a couple guitars off Rondo Music just to see how. I bought two because I wasn't sure which ones I like. I got the Stratocaster with P90s, and then that Furion's Nashville style Tele. So I played them both for a while. I clearly liked the Tele more. I just gravitated towards that more, and so I ended up keeping that, upgrading it. I only upgraded two things about it. More than that. Like, I upgraded the tuner, so it'd have locking tuners, easy to restring, stays in tune pretty nicely. I upgraded the nut. I got a different nut. I got a string tree, and then I got different electronics in it. So those things, with the guitar cost me like $150 with shipping, maybe $160 with shipping, and then with the modifications I did to it, probably put like about $160 into modifications, and then got someone to set it up. So you're looking at probably like a $350 guitar towards the end with all the different things that I did to it. But I only ended up doing that because I liked the guitar, and I was going to change the pickups and do all this stuff, but I liked the pickups too. So it was kind of dawned on me that, like, inexpensive guitar, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you get it set up, which I did, I went and took it to a luthier and got it set up, and it plays nicely. And it's a guitar that, because it's inexpensive, it's relatively light, it's super simple, it stays in tune. I just pick it up and play it a lot. So I guess to me, it's like, the fact that it cost me $129 and then with the shipping 160, between 120 and 150, it doesn't matter. Like the experience of the playing was so much fun, and I still play it to this day. It's a guitar that I play a lot. Like, I have nicer guitars, but there's something about the inexpensive nature of it which makes it feel chill. Like, it's like, oh, this is a chill, no matter if I drop it or something happens to it, it's not a big deal. It just makes me feel at ease when I'm playing it. I'm not worried about it. Not that I really worry about any of my guitars when I play them, but I think the combination of the form factor of a Telecaster, because it's so it fits so well on my body, and it sounds decent. I mean, all my amps are nice, you know, so it sounds good through my amps. And so I'm just like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, so you can get expensive. Like, I enjoyed my Sheraton. I don't have it anymore because it was so big, and like, I just wanted to try other things. After I was comfortable with the new guitars that I got, I kind of moved on from that and sold it. You know, I had another different style of Tele, like the Modern Player with the two P90s, and I had Lollers in them, and they were nice guitars. And I don't regret selling them because I don't care. It's like every guitar is its own experience, and I only worry about a guitar if I don't play it. You know, if I'm playing the guitars all the time, then I don't even think about it. But if the guitar is sitting there you know, on the stand and I'm not picking it up, then I start to be like, well, what's the reason? Maybe I have to sell it. Maybe I have to mod it to make it more fun for me. So yeah, I think like nowadays with guitars, I just wouldn't even worry about the price one way or the other. If you really like, there are some guitars that you just want them. Like they're cool PRSs, and it's a couple grand, and it's just a cool guitar, and you want it, and you have the price, the money to pay for it. Then you get it. You know, it's just all about the player's experience. Like, if you really enjoy that guitar and you have the money, who cares? Like, when I see someone with a fancy $10,000 guitar, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that like I covet it or would want that, but I'm like, it'd probably be a fun guitar to play. Like, you know, he spent a lot on it, so I'm sure he got it teched out nicely, you know what I mean? Like, or some people might just spend that money on the guitar and have it sit on the wall because it looks cool. So, you know, for a person who's actually a player and likes playing guitars, then affordable guitars is a very decent way to go also. If you just want to sit there and play the guitar and not care, then I would definitely consider going that route. You know what? Thanks for listening. Hopefully you have questions, get in the comment sections, get at me, throw me a like, and I'll make more videos talking about some guitars.